Hey, I'm Valerie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you the 3 next projects that I did to make my bathroom look and feel wonderful. So come on in and let me show you what I did.
Do you know I'm looking and I can't help but smile? Do you know how much I love you?
If you're anything like me and you've ever had to remove wallpaper, you know what a pain it can be. And everywhere you look are the cutest wallpaper patterns. That was my problem when I decided what I wanted to do in my bathroom. That is why I was so relieved when I found these wall stencils on Cutting Edge Stencils. I figured that down the road, if I decided to change my mind, I can just paint over it. It took me a little while to decide what base color I was going to use, but when I put the white on it and then put the yellow on top of it, I loved it. And I had seen on some videos where they added an accent color, so that's exactly what I did. For most of the color, I used Fusion mineral paint in Buttermilk Cream, something like that. And then I did pops of color in the stencil with Drop Cloth by Dixie Belle. It was just what I had, but it worked out perfectly. This stencil comes with a top of the wall portion of the stencil. So they recommend using a foam roller when installing or applying your paint. But if you look at the stencil, I've got a lot of paint on that stencil and only a little bit needs to be in those lines. So I switched to a brush. I found that I had a lot less waste in it and it was fine. On the stencil, there are places that you can match up where they need to hang. So I just attached it to those spots and then started on the longer piece. Look how pretty it is. I just love it. I bought this shelf about 3 years ago when I moved into this house, and it was white, as you can see. But I thought that the touches of blue that I have going on in this bathroom would look really cute. So when I saw this paint at my stockist nearby, I decided that I was going to paint it blue, and it looks great. I used Champness by Fusion Mineral Paint, and then when it was done, I decided I was going to add a white wax to the top of it. I'm not sure if that's something that you do with Fusion paint, but I needed to tone down the blue a little bit, so that's what I did. So I bought this door at the Habitat for Humanity Restore shop for $25, and I painted it with casement from Fusion Mineral Paint, but realized I didn't have enough to cover it because it needed more than one coat. After that, I used raw silk and coated it again, and as you can see here, there are some spots in it where you can still see the whiter color of the casement through it, and I kind of liked it. Instead of covering it up with another coat, I just left it. So I read my directions on how to install my Barndoor Track. So I put in all these holes here for my Barndoor Track, and none of them have a stud except for that one right over there, which I kind of figured. So what I'm going to do is, I don't know if you ever watch Traditions by the Seasons with Liz. Well, in her previous home, her husband had installed a barn door track and put barn doors leading into, I think, their game room. And he had, because he couldn't find a stud, had installed a board at the top so that he can nail this into the stud and then attach the barn door track to the board. So I remember, we remember the most random things, but I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. So I cut a piece of 3/4 inch plywood to the size that I needed to cover up there and to install this onto my studs. So I'm going to attach it to 3 of the studs, and then I'll be able to attach my track. So that's what I'm going to do. Anyway, I purchased 3-inch construction screws, and these will go right into the stud. They gave me anchors, but for my bolts. But once I installed the anchors on this side, it would never catch, and it kept spinning, so I could never attach the bolts. So, and I used the drill bit that I was supposed to use. Anyway, this is gonna work. And it worked. Once I painted the board white to match the background, I mounted my track to it, and it was perfect. It was just what I needed. And then I could hang my door. The only thing that stood out to me was the black track, so I painted it. I used Algonquin by Fusion Mineral Paint, and it was perfect. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you wouldn't mind sharing it with anybody you think might be interested. I will see you in the next video. I'm planning on showing you my upcycled items and my sewing projects. So see you next time. Bye.
You're gone now, will you coming back? Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that. You're the traveling kind, it's a known fact. Yeah, I know that. Once you've seen all the things, all the places, I hope it means that you'll come home to me. Once you've traveled